Our good evening and welcome. So glad to have everyone here tonight on our third week of Advent and focusing in on joy, and also really focusing in on how we experience that in our breath in particular. So there we will use a breath called Breath of Joy, and we'll do it in three different time periods throughout the evening. The last time that we do it, we'll do it standing, and there's some movement that goes along with it. But I'll cue that as we go in. So when we think about this third week, I get so excited because pink is my favorite color, and so the pink candle, can't see them that well from the it's not the clearest photo, but I get excited because of getting to light that candle, but also because we're almost there. And Trish was just saying the weather's been so weird this Advent. It hasn't felt very seasonally festive and holiday-like. But I'm really feeling the darkness this week and thinking, gosh, this is, first of all, a really long Advent because Christmas is on a Saturday. So it feels long, and we could use a dose of joy. And so I've been reflecting a lot on that this week and thinking about how our culture likes to do joy in a way that is a quick fix, that ignores everything that's hard and just says, but don't look at that, look at this, be happy. And tonight we'll turn to both a letter from St. Paul in Philippians and to the gospel. And I'm going to invite you in to imagine the Nativity story with the lens of chapter 4 of Philippians, which is about rejoicing. And to imagine the hardship and this arduous journey that Joseph and Mary take from Nazareth to Bethlehem. And they don't shy away from anything that's hard. And yet in the midst of that, there is also more, and there is joy that is beyond them. And I think that tuning joy into our breath then is this really beautiful connection that helps us not be focused on the material and on circumstance, but to see the bigger picture and to be able to know that real hope demands surrender and trust. And that's hard and scary, but it's the only path to joy, because joy is not of us, it is of God. And so tonight we'll get to try that out. A lot of our movement will be heart openers this evening, and we'll do some on our belly, and then we'll do some standing as well. So as we open up our heart to experience joy, also be attentive of how's that feeling, and what's too much in the moment, and be honest with yourself and take a step back in places where you need to do that. So let's begin with, we can begin seated with your legs crossed. Set your hands either on your knees or down at your sides. I invite you to close your eyes. Tune into your breath. Tune into where and how it is flowing this evening. As you envision your breath as it moves through your body, notice the places where it's stuck. And with your next inhale, see if you can allow your breath to stop in that space. Exhale. And then breathe in again and see if you can gently ease past those places of stickiness. where you come to a place where your breath is flowing freely. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know. Be still. I'm going to take a moment and set your intention for this evening. What is the grace that you desire? What is on your heart? What do you want to ask God for? I want you to bring your hands together, interlace your fingers, and place them in front of your heart. This 3-part breath that we'll do is a 3-part inhale and then 1 extended exhale. So we'll inhale and use this motion of our hands moving from our heart into the room. So 3 sips of breath, I'll model it, and then we can do it together. So just like you're sucking in on a straw. Try 3 of those. Your last one, and it's as if you're able to bypass those places that are stuck. And this breath allows us to see that there's more space in our lungs. Sometimes we think that our breath is all the way full, that our lungs are all the way full, and there's a little bit more. So find it a very hopeful breath in that way, that there's a little bit more if you can just breathe into it. Go ahead and set your hands down at your side. Close down your eyes and take 1 deep cleansing breath, not a breath of joy, just a breath of fullness. Thanks. Switch the cross on your leg if you would like to, if you've been here for a bit. And we'll begin by sending both arms up over our head. Exhale, bring your right hand down, left arm up and over. Can everybody hear me okay? Tonight I see a message in the chat, but it might be hard to hear me. We'll flow from side to side. And one more flowing and then we'll hold. Opening up our side bodies. Now let's hold on the right. And think about your navel moving towards the left. If it's comfortable, take your gaze up to the ceiling. Feel free to bend your bottom arm as much as you need to. Exhale, come back to center and switch sides. Left hand down, right arm up and over. Ground your right hip down and then rotate your torso. Open to the right. Look up. With joy, let's come back up to center and then we'll take a twist. Right arm to left knee, left hand behind you. Joy is about being willing to be grounded and then at the same time being able to find some lift. So a posture like this, let's switch sides, where my hips are heavy and my spine is tall and my arms are very lifted. It's a beautiful expression of that. Let's exhale, take a forward fold. Here, think of your hips grounded. And exhale. Let's walk ourselves into tabletop position. So knees hip distance apart, hands shoulder distance apart. And take a few rounds of cat and cow. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your chest. Exhale, round your spine, chin to chest. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. One more like this, then we'll change, same movement with our spine, but a little bit of a difference. So this time as we inhale, come forward on your hands, might even want to move them. Come onto your knees. You can keep your legs flat or you can bend them. Lift your chest here, let your hips drop. Exhale, round your spine, take your time and come into child's pose. Inhale, come on up. Bend your knees. Exhale. Take two more of these on your own. Allowing your chest, your spine, your heart to open. Exhale. One. Inhale. And exhale. We'll hold here in child's pose. So you can adjust your knees nice and wide. Maybe bring your big toes to touch. And allow your hands to reach in front of you, forehead to the mat. Take a moment and tent your fingers a bit so that you can feel a bit more stretch across your chest and in your shoulders. And then on your next exhale, walk your hands over to the left to take a lateral stretch. So feeling this from the tip of your right fingers all the way into your right hip. Feel the opening in your armpit, also known as the source of, or the place of joy. One more breath here, deep inhale. Exhale, walk your hands back through center and then over to the right. This time stretching through your left fingers all the way into your left hip. Two more breaths here. Open up the left armpit. And exhale, walk back to center. And walk your hands in towards your body. We'll come to standing on our knees. And we'll take a dynamic child's pose here. So this would be like our Tadasana on our knees, nice and grounded in our knees and in our toes. Inhale, arms up overhead. Reach tall with your fingers, push down with your toes and knees. And then as we exhale, firm up your core, reach forward, hips go back. Take your time. Keep extending until you can no longer extend. And then bring your hands to the small of your back, right ear to the mat. Again, inhale up. Feel free to take a slight back bend if that feels good here. Open your heart. Exhale. This time our left ear will come to the mat. Reach, 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 and then surrender. Inhale up. So we'll take another full round, 2 rounds on each side. Exhale, right ear to the mat. Inhale up, reaching and extending. Exhale, reach forward. Last time, on each side. A lot of flexion and extension of our spine to begin our practice this evening. This time, we'll take our left ear to the mat. A moment. Go ahead and extend your arms out in front of you again. Bring your forehead to the mat. Come into child's pose. One more breath in. And exhale, we'll release up to tabletop. So ground down here in your hands and in your knees. And then let's extend our right leg back. Reach and extend. And then pull your right leg through into a low lunge. So place your right leg in between your hands. Square your hips. Go ahead and inhale your arms up above your head. Inhale, reach and extend. Exhale, let's bring our hands behind us. You can interlace them or just let them be an airplane. And see if you can surrender your head just a little bit. So this is a bit of a balance. And inhale up and reach. Again, scissor your legs, surrender. Inhale up and exhale. Keep your head where it is. Go ahead and place your hands on either side of your feet. And then we'll walk to the long side of our mat. Left leg is going to turn, left foot, and extend your right leg out. So right leg is straight. Now we're standing on our left knee for gate pose. Inhale, arms out parallel to each other. Exhale, just tilt a little bit towards the right. We're going to go incrementally here, about 25%. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale, push down through your right foot, come 50%. Inhale, back up. Exhale, 75%. Lateral stretch. Inhale, back up to center. And now this time, take it 100%, whatever that's going to look like this evening. You can rest your right hand on your leg. Just don't put any pressure on your knee. You can bring your right hand to your hip. Push down through your left leg so that left arm comes up and over. See if you can move your shoulders away from your ears. One more breath here. And exhale, release arms back parallel. And from here, we'll go into a modified version of side plank. So left hand can come all the way to the mat or to a block. You can adjust your legs as you need to. Open up your hips. Inhale your right arm up. Still push down through your right toes. And we'll do some movement with our right arm. So inhale, right hand comes up and over your head. Exhale, right hand comes down by your right hip. Inhale, up and over. Exhale, down. One more. Inhale, up and over. And exhale, down. Here we'll move to tabletop. So now you're facing the back of your mat. Let's take one round of cat and cow to neutralize your spine. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Roll your friend. And we'll extend our left leg out and back. Feel a sense of balance, evenness in your hips. And exhale, bring it through. Low lunge on the other side. Inhale up. Arms up above your head. Push down through your knee and toes. Reach up with your hands. And exhale, torso comes forward, arms come to airplane or grip. Inhale up and back. Exhale, reach and extend. Last one. Inhale up. And exhale. Surrender. Let's hold here for a breath. Move your shoulders away from your ears. And exhale. Hands come back down by your feet. And then again, we'll walk towards the long side of our mat. Rotate your foot so you're standing on your right knee. Left leg is extended. And your left foot, if it needs to be pointed, that's fine. If it's turned in, that's great too. Whatever's more comfortable on your knee and on your leg. Inhale, arms out, center. Feel tall. Breathe in. Exhale, 25%. Notice how similar or different each side is. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, 50%. Inhale, center. Exhale, 75%. And surrender to 100% for this evening. And make sure that your hand's not resting on your knee, maybe on your hip. Push your hips over to the right. One more breath here. And exhale, release back to center. And then bring your right hand down to the mat or to a block. The modified side plank on this side. Push down through your left foot. Inhale, extend your right arm high. Exhale, arm comes up above your head. Inhale, arm down by your head. Exhale, arm up and over. Inhale, arm back. Inhale, up and over. And exhale. Come back into tabletop, this time at the top of your mat again. One more round of cat and cow. Inhale to cow. Exhale to cat. And then lean forward on your hands and then bend with your elbows and lower yourself all the way down to the mat. Once you're here, place your arms on wider than your mat. You can tend to your fingers. We'll do some wide-armed cobras. Before we rise with our torso, push the tops of your toes into the mat. Feel like you have one long tail. And that helps you to not engage your glutes as much. So we're going to push down through our pubic bone as we inhale, rise up, exhale, flow down. So let this be however your spine works. Mine doesn't flow that great because I have rods in my back. So yours might look more graceful. Exhale. One more. Inhale up. And exhale. Lift the pillow with your hands and set your forehead on it. I'm going to keep my voice this way so that you can hear me. But we'll let our head and neck relax for a moment. And then on our next inhale, we'll lift our legs. We want to keep them straight. So you're going to push down into the earth with your pubic bone and let your legs rise. Doesn't matter how high they go. Think of moving your inner thighs down towards the earth. So inhale, legs up. Exhale, set them down. Inhale, lift your legs. Exhale, set them down. One more. Inhale, lift. And exhale, set them down. Let your feet, let your heels rather relax out to the side for a rest breath. And now we'll alternate raising our torso, set the torso down, raise the legs, set the legs down before we put it all together.
Option for when we raise our torso, you can either have your arms wide if that feels good, or if you'd rather have them underneath your shoulders, either one works, okay? So arms wide or arms underneath your shoulders, pubic bone into the earth. Inhale, chest rises. Exhale, chest comes down. Forehead to the mat. Inhale, legs up. Exhale, legs down. Again, torso rises. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale, legs. Exhale down. Last time. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale, legs. And exhale. Again, make a pillow for your head. Tune into your breath. Notice the places where it's flowing smoothly, where it might need a little nudge. And this time we'll put it all together. So option to keep your hands here for some support, or you can extend your arms out, palms up. We'll airplane our arms as we come into locust pose. We'll do 2 rounds of this. So we'll hold for a couple of breaths once we lift. Center yourself, let your chin be towards the earth. And on your inhale, lift your feet, lift your chest. Breathe through your back body. Take 3 breaths here. As you push down through center, rise just a bit more. And exhale, release. You can either make a pillow or place one ear on the mat. A lot of cardio work here in these heart openers. So your heart might be beating a little faster. And let's gear up for our last round. Bring your chin towards center. Place your hands where you'd like them. Exhale. And then inhale. Breathe through your back body. Shoulder blades come together. 2 more breaths. Feel your head extending forward and your legs extending back. And exhale, release. Opposite ear to the mat or make a pillow. One more breath here. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders and push up through tabletop and into child's pose. Counter stretch for your back. Allow your forehead to rest on the mat or on a block. And really take the chance to move your belly button in towards your spine, round it a bit to get that counter action. One more breath in. Exhale, release through tabletop. And let's tuck our toes under and come into downward facing dog. Pedal out your feet here. Push down through your hands, lift hips up and back. If you need a little extra support in down dog, you can always do it against the wall or against a couch, just to raise your arms up a bit. One more breath here. And on your next exhale, go ahead and walk your feet up towards your hands. Come into a forward fold. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Let your head hang heavy. Let your belly rest on your thighs. Now let's inhale to a halfway lift. So place your hands either on a block or on your shins. Engage your core, nice flat back. Exhale, roll down. We'll come to stand. Fix your feet. Slight bend in your knees. Take your time. Inhale all the way up to standing. Arms come up above your head. Take a slight back bend at the top. And exhale, hands to prayer. Feel your feet strong and pushing into the ground as your quads lift. Let your head reach towards the heavens. Inhale, drop your arms, lift them all the way up above your head. Exhale, slight back bend. Inhale up tall. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, all the way down. Inhale, all the way up. And exhale, hands to prayer. Before we do a standing series, we'll try the breath of joy standing. So you want your feet to be a little bit wider than hip distance apart and a slight bend in your knees. Still those 3 sips in, but this time we'll add some arms to it. So I'll show you what it looks like before we do it together. Keep going if you. It's easy to get a little bit lightheaded. That's the result of the joy moving around in your body. So make sure that you keep your knees a little bit bent. And if it's too fast of a pace, find what works for you, and always know that you can opt out. You could just do it standing like we did it seated without the arm movements. Okay, but let's try 4 rounds in a row. On our last one, we'll just let ourselves dangle. Okay, here we go. Last one. Let your arms dangle. Maybe them sway side to side a bit. This is a great breath to do if you're feeling brain fog or sadness or tired or any of the winter blues. Bring our hands to our shins and inhale, wider leg, half lift. Exhale, slowly roll yourself down. Then slight bend in the knees. Inhale all the way up. And exhale, hands to prayer. Feel all of the energy moving through your body. The psalm this weekend or this week is cry out with joy and gladness. Breath is moving with the spirit. It's a little bit more possible for that to happen. If you're not already there, inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, slight back bend. Inhale, reach tall. Exhale, forward fold. This time, plant your hands and step back into high plank. Pausing here, you can come to your knees if that's more comfortable. Just take one breath here, feel nice and strong. And then exhale, push back into downward facing dog. We'll bring our right leg through. If you'd like to lift your leg, you're welcome to do that. And then exhale, bring your right leg through for a lunge. This time we'll keep our back knee lifted. Inhale, arms up. Inhale, reach tall. Exhale, airplane your arms. Inhale, reach. Exhale, airplane. Inhale, tall. Exhale, airplane. One last reach up. This time we'll take a twist. Left arm forward, right arm back. Scissor your legs together. One more breath in. Exhale, release, come back to standing. And now we'll come into warrior three. So we'll push off on our right foot. Extend your arms forward. You can bring them into airplane arms if you'd like to. Push down through your right foot. Lift your heart. One more breath here. And exhale. Come back to present. Inhale, reach back. And exhale. Hands down to the mat. Let's take a moment here. Stretch into your hip flexor. And then push back into downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Other side. Inhale the left leg up if you did so on the other side. Exhale, bring it. Fix your feet. And then inhale, arms up. Crescent lunge. Making sure that your knees over your ankle, not past it. Inhale, reach tall. Exhale, airplane your arms. Inhale, reach. Feel like you're lifting your breath. Exhale, send it back. Last one for airplane arms. Exhale back. Lift time when we reach. We will twist. Right arm forward, left arm back. Scissor your legs. Inhale back up to center. And exhale, come down. Hands to either side of your foot. Stretch out your hip flexor. And then from here, we'll take this left foot into pigeon. So you can toe heel your left foot over towards your right wrist. Bring your back knee down. So your shin is parallel-ish towards the top of the mat. If you need to bring your foot closer in towards your torso, feel free to do so. Try to square your hips. So that means moving the right hip forward, left hip back. And sit tall here. And then on your exhale, allow your hips to drop and come down as far as is comfortable. You come down onto forearms or blocks. In sleeping pigeon, again, being attentive to your hips, move the left hip then. Make sure that your right leg is extended straight back. Lots of heart openers, and now a hip opener. Our hips can be a place of holding a lot of emotion. Oftentimes the more painful emotions. So it's a gentle reminder to our bodies that we can do the hard work at the same time that we are hopeful. Take 3 more breaths here. Release, you can come back into downward dog or into tabletop, whatever feels better. Pause there, let the blood flow back into your legs. And then we'll bring our right leg through. So right knee comes up by your right wrist. Right foot comes over by your left hand. So maybe in closer to your torso, depending on how your hips are on this side. Extend your left leg out like a tail. Square your hips. Left hip forward, right hip back. Let your tailbone be heavy as you lift up through your chest, and then allow yourself to. And the surrendering that we can come to realize our need for help from God, from others, recognizing our limits, helping us to open up a new door, and then that leads to connection, and that is accompanied by hope. Three more breaths here. Back into either downward dog or tabletop. And check in with both hips, both legs. And if you're in down dog, come into your tabletop. Put your hands back towards your knees. Come to seated and extend your legs out in front of you. Put your hands at your sides. Open your chest in Dandasana. A very simple posture, but very challenging. So really think of making a 90-degree angle. Feel free to bend your knees as much as you need to. Flex your feet. And feel your sit bones against the mat. Envision each vertebrae stacked on top of the next. Let your shoulders come together so that your collarbone can spread wide. One more breath in here. And then exhale, release. Come on down to your back. You can bend your knees if you need to, however you want to get there. Once you're on the mat, have your knees bent, feet on the mat. And arms can come to a cactus or a T, whatever is more comfortable for your shoulders. Take a deep breath in here. And then allow both knees to fall over to the left. Let your shoulder blades be heavy on the mat. Feel free to make any adjustments. That flexion and extension and lateral stretching of our spine. And now some twists to make sure that our spine's getting moved in all possible ways. One more breath here. And exhale back to center. Allow your knees to fall to the other side. One more breath in. And exhale, release. Come back to center. Let's bring our knees in towards our chest. Rock side to side if that feels good. And then as we move into our resting pose, option to be in Supta Baddha Konasana with your heels and the soles of your feet together, or to extend all the way out into traditional Shavasana. You want a little bit more opening of your hips. Supta Baddha Konasana is maybe where you want to be. You can always put blocks underneath your knees here. Your hands rest on your belly. And again, tune into your breath. Feel the expansiveness of the breath inside your whole torso cavity. Can you feel your tailbone grounded into the earth? At the same time that your breath calls you to cry out with joy and gladness. Feel your breath reaching beyond you. Grounded and centered, and also reaching out, crying out. And in the midst of that tension, finding stillness, finding peace. Rest into that peace. You're welcome to stay there as we move into our contemplation for tonight. If it's more comfortable to sit up, feel free to do so. As I read from the Paul's letter to the Phillippians, just invite you to let any imagery that comes to mind, color, image, any of the five senses, hold on to those, and then we'll take that into the story information. Brothers and sisters, rejoice in the Lord always. I shall say it again, rejoice. Your kindness should be known to all. The Lord is near. Have no anxiety at all, but in everything, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, make your requests known to God. The peace of God that surpasses all understanding will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. Imagine the road from Nazareth to Bethany. They were not very close together. And see if you can situate your mind in this time period of the first century. In your mind, imagine Mary and Joseph packing their cart, getting their donkey ready. And most likely, neighbors were doing the same,
as many people were being called to travel for the census. Imagine Mary thinking of planning for this trip, knowing that she is very pregnant. Maybe even touch your hand to your own belly. Feel the heaviness and the weight of carrying the baby. As you envision them out on this road, on this journey, which must have taken several days, what can you see in your imagination that they may have encountered? And what kind of anxiety may have arisen for both of them? Kind of trust and surrender must have also accompanied that anxiety. Paul encourages the people at Philippi to have no anxiety, but instead to make all of their requests known to God. To be specific, to be honest. What might Mary and Joseph have requested, have pleaded for, have doubted? See them come into the town. The task of finding a place to stay becomes the most prominent need. Mary is indeed close to giving birth. Can you imagine having a contraction when you don't know where you're going to rest? You imagine the anxiety. What could have been her request at that moment? Paul says that when we do this, when we make our requests and surrender our specific needs, then the peace of God surpasses all understanding. Can you imagine? Being told, no, no room here. Sorry, no room here. Oops, not going to happen. And then a clearing, certainly not the Ritz-Carlton, but a place, a door opening, what might you smell or be able to touch as Mary and Joseph come into this cave? Is there someone else there accompanying them as the labor pains quicken and intensify? You feel the night air. What noises do you hear? And then she is pushing. And then she is holding the baby Jesus. And all of this labor, and this long, long road. A new door. A new opening. And a new one. Where are you in this scene? Are you an observer? Maybe you imagine that you are Mary. Maybe you're her midwife. What is your reaction to this new life? On this long-awaited journey? Rejoice in the Lord always. I shall say it again. Rejoice. The Lord is near. In that moment, the Lord is near. Let yourself set in of the baby Jesus, in awe of Mary, in awe of Joseph. And let the Spirit fill your heart. As you continue your prayer and continue your reflection, I invite you to go back to this place, wherever that was specifically in your imagination. This moment of seeing the face of Christ for the first time. And I invite you to let him speak to you, or to let Mary speak to you. To take all of your anxieties and your petitions and your thanksgivings to Christ. Saying that the peace of God that surpasses all understanding will guard your heart and your mind. Open your eyes if they are not already. We'll take a closing breath of joy together. Let's bring our hands in front of our heart again, like we started. 3 sips in. See if they can be the
the deepest yet, knowing that our hope lies in the fact that there's a little bit more. Breathe in. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. Blessings on this third week of Advent. Know that you are in my prayers as you make your Advent journey. And let's take all of it to God. Thank you so much. Thanks so much, everybody. Hope that you have a great week.